Hi everybody, wanted to give you an update on our new version of FRINX Machine. FRINX Machine is a solution for network automation and includes workflow, inventory and network control. And we've just released a new version the other week full of new functionality. I want to go through that in a couple of videos. Alright, today I'm going to talk about the UniConfig shell. And that is a completely new functionality we have added in this release of UniConfig 4.2.8 for the first time. And the first example, you'll see how we can change a description on an interface and commit it on the router. So we go into config mode, and this is completely model driven. So you hit tab and you see all the options that are there, all the devices that are mounted, and then all the configuration parameter based on the Yang models that have been loaded from the device. So in this case, we go down the tree, down to the interface, the composite key, and we change the description to my new most favorite interface. And we hit return, and then we commit this change with the request commit command. We commit it, and what now happens is it goes to the device. The device has made the change, and we'll just verify that with our UI, and we sync back from the network, and we see the change description setting. So this is really useful. And what you also can do, you can see what transactions have been made in the system, and you can roll back those transactions. So if you were not happy with that change, you can pick out the specific transaction, and you can see exactly what was the previous state and what was the new state. And you take the transaction ID and you revert that transaction. Now, you can also revert transactions that go across devices. So this is not just on a single device, but also network-wide. So in this case, we have now reverted that transaction to the previous state. Now we commit that new state, and we are rolled back to the previous state that we were before we made that configuration change. So that's pretty straightforward. And that allows you to back out of configuration processes that you were not happy with. And if something has gone wrong, you can always back out through this transaction log. Here, we're going to show you how to use a full JSON body in a configuration. So instead of just changing one specific item, we can use our editor function here. And it's a little bit like a Vim. So you exit it with W exclamation mark or Q exclamation mark. And in this case, you can commit it. And now the whole section, the whole body is committed. And again, we hit request commit, and the changes are applied. So that's pretty neat as well. So you can have complex changes that you apply through this method to the devices. In the last example, we're going to show you how to display operational data from the device. As I said, it's completely model driven, and we're going to look at all the devices that are mounted through netconf here, and we are looking through all the hundreds of device models or Yang models that are loaded on the device or that the device has provided to us, and we can browse through here, and here we see some show brief, show interface brief, view, and then we can even zoom in further and look at a specific interface. Obviously, all that is model driven. That's really important. And whatever device you have mounted, you can walk through that whole tree, and that CLI becomes available to you. That's it, and more to come in our next session.